Hey everyone, Jim Chester coming to you live. I have Rose Panico with me. Tell me a little bit about your experience this weekend with the New Beginnings group.
It's amazing. Jim Dubell heard me speak at Sherman College. I had no idea who Jim Dubell was. And so he called me one day and he says, I'd like for you to come at our very first program. That was in October 1991. Was the first time I met Jim. And there he was, gives me the PhD award. I was shocked. I says, my goodness, here I am, a philosopher of chiropractic, and I'm not a chiropractor. I was shocked. And so I met Jim, and the first program, he made me speak, and I was so nervous. But that became my home. As of October 1921, I haven't missed any. Twice a year. I've got to have someone take me because I can't drive at night. And I've been here every day.
So, my question for you is, what does it mean for you to be a part of this New Beginnings family?
Well, Sherman College was my family. I attended their first lyceum in 1977. I first learned about chiropractic in 1953. I had no idea what chiropractic was. So Tom Gilardi and Reggie Gold and all the greats, Joe Felicia, all the old timers were there online, and I already had met them going traveling to pick their brains. Because as soon as I heard chiropractic and they helped my son, after 7.5 years of illness, he had bronchial asthma from birth. And so when I learned about it, and he was adjusted, he had a toggle, the next thing I know, we took him home, he never coughs again from the one adjustment. I said, oh my God, what in heck did they do that I had the greatest, everybody had the best medical doctor, so let me find out what in the heck is the difference? And because I had learned about it, it finally woke up my brain. I says, I've got to travel. I've got to hit everywhere there's a mentor, and I must pick their brains. So I became Rose, the one that made them all bald, because I kept picking their brains. And I thank Reggie Gold very well because he taught me to think. When you hear something, think deep, because there's a deep meaning through DD when he says you must unite man to God. And how do you unite man to God? And then I got the 33 principles where it said, a universal intelligence gives to all its properties. And I think, you mean God is the brain of the universe? And this made me really hunger to learn more. So I came back to New Beginnings, and Jim has been my mentor since I couldn't go to Sherman anymore because I didn't have anyone to go with, and I don't travel alone and at my age. But Jim, I love him. I love his wife, Barbara, and the entire family now have been my second family. Sherman family, and now I've got the New Beginnings family for this is the 26th year. So thank you for asking.
So you can see here the passion and the drive that Rose has for what the chiropractor is doing and for the chiropractic future. And you've seen a lot of things come and go. Would you just mind sharing with us your favorite Reggie Gold story?
Oh, I have many of Reggie Gold's, but the most I love is when he spoke about the Valley of the Blind. He tells a story about Bogota, And he took it from Dr. Wells' book, and he turned it. He had a way of doing that, that when he heard a story or read a story, he'd always relate it into chiropractic. He was amazing. And that's one of the greatest things he taught me, how to do that too, and I love it. But anyway, it was about Bogota. He was an well, I forget what the word for it,
Anthropologist?
yeah, that's it. Tongue-tied. It's the dentist. Anyway, he was traveling with his group, but he got separated. And for years, he could never find a way to get off this cave. And all the years he was there, he was going crazy, but he knew how to survive. He ate berries, whatever, but he was lonely for years. He had no one to speak to. And that's terrible, because I experienced that already. And he went crazy. But one day he's digging, and he saw this cave, and there was a light somehow. And he creeped through, and when he saw, there was an entire village. And he noticed they're all hanging on to rope as they're walking. And he found out they were blind. And the leader, the king, had one eye kind of soft split. And there was the high priest. So when Bogota came in, he was a lovely guy, very warm, loving. They admitted him to become one of them, and he thought he'd be there. There's people there, they spoke English, but then they thought he was crazy. Because he kept saying, you know, there's a beautiful sky. There's just a what? A sky? What is that? See, they never saw outdoors. They never saw stars. So every time he mentioned something to that effect, they thought he was crazy. So the king, he fell in love with the king's daughter. She had one good eye. And so they finally convinced each other, but they thought he was crazy. So when they wanted to get married, the king says, yes, you marry. But the high priest says, hey, wait a minute. They're going to have crazy children. He says, the thing that's wrong with that man is his eyes. He keeps telling me he sees things. It must be his eyes. So he have to get rid of his eyes. And once he get rid of his eyes, he'll be like us. We won't hear all that nonsense anymore, and we will allow them to get married. So to think about it, Bogota went outside, and he sat for a long time, and this is where he related it to chiropractic. He says, I want you to think, chiropractors, what is your reason for being a chiropractor? What exactly is your purpose? He says, because right now we have the vision of a hawk, but we have the eyesight of a hawk, but we have a vision of a clam. Are you willing to give up your profession for mixing? I leave it to you. Thank you.
So there you can see, Rose is just sharing from the heart. She's been a part of the chiropractic profession for many, many years.
64.
64 years. And you can see the passion she still carries and the stories and the history that you know inside your heart.
It's my life. It became my life. I love it. I even go to the council meetings. And they've been giving me all kinds of awards, and I don't want it because I just love what I'm doing. It's the biggest blessing to me. All I want are hugs. Hugs to me is the love that God has within us, and I want to share it because we're all related. We're all brothers and sisters, and when I say I love you, it's only one level love. There isn't, well, I don't like that person, then you don't know what love is. You have to love, as God says, you have to love one another as much as God loves you. And I do. I love everyone from my heart and soul. I give it all to you freely. Thank you.
Well, let's give a good hug. And see, there you guys have it. Nothing but love out here at New Beginnings. I'm just going to sign off for the evening. I'm done with the interviews today.
Thank you so much. You made my day. This is another memory that's going to go up here and stay forever.
Well, see, there you have it. I saved the best for last. That is interview number 10 on the day. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of the live stream here today from New Beginnings. And I'm glad that we could close it out with the beautiful Rose. And thank you so much for sharing.
I thank you and everyone that God, I want to thank God for all the most beautiful people He sent them. I don't have an enemy, I don't think, but I love every one of them. They've enlightened my life to no end, and I thank them all.
And thank you, everybody. We're going to sign off for the night, and I will be back tomorrow with many more interviews. And I hear I'm going to go live with Tristan Schaub with Cairo Sushi. And he's going to ask me why I do all these interviews.
Yes.
So with that being said, appreciate every single one of you that's been on the live stream with me today. Good night and God bless.
Thank you.